we're going. So, welcome back to Series 1.2 of Dark Skies, entitled Open Market. Last session, the group had secured themselves inside of Odette's doctor's office, which was a pretty secure location in an old trauma building, trauma team building that had been renovated into commercial slash residential properties. Pretty thick walls, pretty thick glass, but outdated defenses comparatively. They were protecting a media who was intent on sending out information to a news broadcast company, but she's currently in the process of trying to get the most money she possibly can for that specifically. That being said, the process of the bidding took a bit of time and was taking some time. And in that time, somehow, the subject matter of the story that she's trying to put out arrived at the scene of the building. A number of efforts were made by this individual to try and enter into the building, all proving ultimately fruitless. The cyber psycho, Joshua Brightman, died horribly when a Militech team came in, caused the elevator to fall down its elevator shaft and smash him, presumably destroying him in the process. Fortunately, the group was able to make it out without being ID'd or even really noticed by the Militech squad that arrived on top of the building via presumably an AV. They jumped into the truck, nonchalantly, cool and chill, and have driven off. They still have some problem, a problem. The bidding is finalized, but Caroline Medina now needs to transfer that information. If she's to do so, she's going to need to do so on a secured connection. For that to be the case, that secured connection would have to either be inside of the city on a data term or on a remote. One second, I'm going to close my door.
It's our show now.
Sorry about that. So either a remote secured data term link or a remote, effectively a modem on a cyber deck to transfer that information. Now, it is presumed that Carbon, the netrunner of the group, has such a device on his own cyber deck. But as I explained last session, him utilizing that could cause potential connection to him and his cyber deck. So he's probably not going to be too forward with that, unless he wants to try and utilize it and try and do so without being broadcast as the one doing it. The other options, one option that you had thought about doing, was going to a vendor of some sort who might have a remote that would allow you to utilize it instead of the one that you currently have. There are a couple of locations that you folk are aware of in the city that might have such a device. Carbon, you know someone who is kind of outside of the city center or around the city center. You haven't talked to them or contacted them very often. Just a runner that you're aware of that might have such a deck or such a device. So the options that you have at current are you could try and contact Anika and see if she is able to assist. Although being a fixer, she probably won't be too interested in being involved in a job she gave other people to do. There are 3 locations. There's Pawn Hub, which is a pawn shop just north of Odette's building, which may or may not have such a device. There's the Backdoor Trader, which is on the north side of Vista Del Rey, which is kind of on the eastern side of the city center, just across the water from Japantown, which is where Carbon's friend, which is currently listed as just Runner, and I say friend, I don't mean more of an acquaintance, um, on the northern side of town there, over near Japantown, which is kind of in that area. And then there's the Delray Market, which is kind of an open market. Um, Basically, vendors who set up streetwise and just kind of sell what they've got. Most of the time, this is just a bunch of uh, people selling merch from yesteryear that might, be worth something. If you've ever been to, like a flea market, it's a lot like that. It's just like a mini mall. The joke was for me alone, I think. That said, which option would you like to go for? And I'm gonna figure out music.
Uh, I mean, I like the name of Pawn Hub. No one else has. It's basically like a pawn shop, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Taking us to Pawn Hub, guys. Unless
Okay. So you head that way.
anybody else.
I mean, you're driving, so when you
I mean,
say
yeah, I'm
when,
heading.
yeah, when you say something, I'm taking it as canon, despite what the others may or may not want. But you head over to Pawn Hub, taking a couple of quick drives on that way. Find a decent parking space just out front, um, and yeah, pop out. It is a set inside of a much larger building. You can see the city center, kind of the wreckage of the Arasaka Tower, which has been being worked on for some time, but a lot of the workers who enter into the center typically come back out and will come around to like food vendors and stuff that are around where you're at. So there's a lot of people present at this hour. It being kind of later in the day, getting close to clock out time, and you can see that the merchant looks like he is alone, sitting in his you know uh, pretty much retail store looking accommodations. There are a couple of people who seem to be flipping through some old vinyl on one side, um, and most of his merchandise of any kind of substance is on the back wall behind him. Out in front, it's mostly just like clothing, um, um, and old kind of just media. He sees you come in, kind of gives you a look, and looks back down at what he's doing. Seems like he's flipping through on his agent, just kind of thumbing it, looking through the news of the day.
Oh no, are we on it?
I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
they didn't see us. No, there's no way.
Yeah, but older gentleman doesn't really give you much of a look. Who's the talker?
I'll go up to the guy and like, hey there, bud.
Hey, uh, can I help you with something?
Yeah, I'm looking for a remote deck. Is that what it's called?
You mean a remote for your cyber deck?
A remote for my cyber deck.
Yeah, I got one. It's a bit sketchy, but you don't look like a runner.
Well, ain't for me.
Looks over behind you. Yeah. Well then,
How much? How much you need for it?
I'm not gonna sell you something if I don't know what you're doing with it.
'Cause
Can't
it's not
just.
just about.
It's not plug and play. I don't. I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm trying to protect you, man. If you're just gonna buy something and shove it into something, if that's your goal, and that's just gonna get you fucked in the long run. So, yeah.
Go on.
What's your deck like?
a mix of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Magic cards.
Dope. Let's play. And he sets down the deck in front of you. You see him start drawing a hand. He looks at it and he goes, "Ah, shit. Man addict." Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Draws one less card. He leads with a mountain. Oh, oops. You were kidding. Sorry. Slides his mono red EDH deck aside and says,
Yeah, I was joking.
Oh, I'm gonna come up to
Yu-Gi-Oh
them.
card back.
Just be like, hey, Calvin, what's the holdup?
He's not happy with how I just want to plug this remote deck into whatever and just be happy with it.
Oh, why does it concern you? What we're gonna do with this?
"So, ma'am, typically when I sell things, you can just purchase what you like. Perfectly acceptable. That's fine. But you're asking for something that might not work with your materials. Any runner worth his salt's gonna know that. So if you're just wanting to buy a remote to just have one, sure, I'll sell it to you." Looks down, pulls out the device and sets it out on the table and says, "It's gonna be 5,000 eddies."
We'll take it for 2,500.
So he's laughing, and you're obviously giving him a look. Sure. Go ahead and
Look, she's practiced.
Just want a regular remote deck, average remote deck.
I'm gonna say go ahead and make a. Yeah, that's tough. Because obviously the look is intimidating, but at the same time,
Spicy.
you're also trying to persuade them. No, go ahead and make me a streetwise check. That'll be good.
Streetwise.
It'll be on skills, under social skills.
Fuck.
He kind of laughs, and then he kind of looks at you for a second. And then he kind of looks over at your friend. Kind of looks back to you and says, "How about 3,500 and we're good."
I don't know. Are you really selling a lot of these?
It's the only one I got.
Well, sounds like you might be at the mercy of our discretion, huh?
I don't follow. Typically, if you only got one left, that means it's selling like hotcakes.
But no, obviously it didn't sell. You still have it, so.
I mean, you want it.
Yeah, that's true.
I ain't got time for this. He puts the deck underneath his table, or underneath his counter. Looks at you all and says, "Look, I tried to help you out. I don't want to sell you something you ultimately are going to try and come back." And he points to a sign that says "No returns, no refunds." So I've had a lot of people come back and say it doesn't work for what they got when they come in asking for something, especially when they stutter over what they're talking about. Gesturing to Calvin. So if you want to buy it, 3,500 is the price, as low as I can go. If you don't want to buy it, great. If you got someone who wants to talk about, like if it's going to be something that they can use, great, even better still.
Where's Carbon during this?
Just over there. Or is he still in the car? I don't know.
Where's Carbon, Michael?
Are you gonna pause her?
These are the struggles of trying to be in the same room. I'm just still in the car. I never left. So.
Okay, I'll be right back. And then I'm gonna go outside, open the car, and just kind of like drag him in with me. And I'm just gonna be like, "You talk to the guy."
So unlike, I can't make that joke. That joke's too bad. So realistically, Carbon doesn't have to be dragged if he doesn't want to be. He can attempt to resist it. Um, my joke had something to do with your marriage. That said, you can't just drag him around, Stephanie.
No, I get it, John. Our marriage is a joke.
No,
to you.
no, no, that's what I was saying. I was saying that,
Like those wedding cake toppers.
Oh my god, those were great. But
I actually am going to resist being pulled
that's what I thought might happen.
because, like, what the heck?
Okay, so
So rude.
fair enough. So if you are wanting to, like, you can see that he's going to resist you, Odette. If you want to physically pull him out of the vehicle, it's going to lead to a situation where you're going to need to make a brawling roll because you are attempting to grab him. And then on your side, Carbon, you're going to need to make an evasion roll.
I rolled an 11.
Waiting for the evasion. Yep, he kind of weasels around in the back of the truck. Caroline's in the front seat, kind of passenger seat, kind of keeping her head down. She's kind of looking at you all. What the fuck are you doing? But Carbon is a slippery little guy. He is not able to be scooped up and carried around the house wherever you want.
I don't want to leave the car right now.
We need you if you want the stupid remote deck or whatever it is.
Caroline kind of looks over to Carbon.
Look, I'll buy you some food if you come in with me.
There you go. There you go.
Fine. Don't even know what I'm going to be able to say or do, but
So, I want to approach the counter again, and as I do, hopefully with Carbon, I'm just going to be like, does this look like he's nerdy enough to buy it?
Yeah. You probably actually bought some things from here before. It's not too far from your spot. And he kind of looks at you and says, pulls out the deck or remote, and you look at it. Go ahead and make a basic tech. I think I want. Hold on. Cyber tech.
where exactly is that
Should
skill
be
at?
in skills at the bottom right corner under technique or.
Oh, yep, Cybertech. Okay.
Yeah. So you're pretty sure that that wasn't designed for your deck or Caroline Medina's deck. But what you do know is you look at the back wall and you can see a couple of old interface plugs and a couple of old kind of pieces of scrap that look like they have prices listed of like 10 eddies and like 20 eddies for the cords. You're pretty sure with the combination of those things you could probably rig it so that it will run off of Medina's deck. And the benefit of that too is because it's older tech and it's not supposed to work together, that'll also help in causing it to be a little bit less traceable.
Yeah, so give us those in the back. I don't want this thing.
Well, no, that and those.
Oh, that and okay.
Yeah, basically,
You were saying just the things in the back.
the remote plus those plugs and cords will allow you to. The plugs and such will allow you to put it to the deck that she has.
Gotcha. So how much are you wanting for this thing?
3,500 was what she was agreeing on. You can make a streetwise check.
Yeah. Let's do that. There's so many things. Where the heck is Streetwise?
It is under social skills, which should be just above tech.
Well, okay. Thought I checked there. 16.
Doing great. He kind of seems to be trying to sell you some pretty old tech for a lot of cash. That thing's probably dated 2025, 2027, like when it came out. That's a good 20 years old right there. And you would also know too that even though it seems like he's kind of cleaned it up and made it look nice, it looks like you can see the interior kind of a bit sloppy and messy. Looks like they've kind of just polished it outside, made it look nice to hopefully sell it to some unsuspecting schlub. You're able to talk him down effectively by pointing that out.
Yeah.
And he says, okay, 1,000 eddies. I'll even throw in the plugs.
Yep. Sounds good.
You know, he's still taking you for a ride a little bit on that one, but the cords and such are being sold underpriced, so it's not too bad. All right. He sets it out in front of you, puts it in a small cardboard box, everything in the cardboard box, and takes your cash. Who's giving him the money?
Who's got money?
Russell's in the car.
I got 9 and a blue eyes white dragon. Who's looking to
Is
trade?
it holographic?
No.
The screen behind the
No deal.
the pawn store owner kind of goes like bright, kind of like red and yellow, and the colors just flashing by, and he's like, ah, as he's bested.
Is it deal?
No, he defeated him with a blue eyes white dragon.
Oh shit! We got the deck for free.
No. I can't do both at the same time.
I'm joking.
No, like I can't do the joking and the real. 1,000. Who's got it?
I
I got
can
9.
contribute 500 if you want.
What happened to the money that we were paid money up front, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure. Where's that? Who's keeping on that?
You should still have it.
You got your bit.
Yeah, I don't remember if anyone. Did we split it up or?
Yeah, we got 1,000 each.
Oh, I have more money then.
We got 1,000 each.
Yeah.
Oh, I
we get
definitely did not
1,000 each
track that
up
at
front.
all.
We get 4,000 at the end each.
Fuck it.
I'm
didn't-
new. I forgot.
Never mind, I got it.
So I think each one of us just pays 250 then.
Russell's in the car. She ain't paying shit.
I said I would do 500, so you guys can help bring that back.
Okay, you can do 500. I'll do 250. Deal.
Need 250 more, the old guy says.
Same. I got it.
All right. So you all kind of slip the man through chipping, I assume. Red chip him out, and he takes your cash.
There it is.
And then passes you the box with the stuff in it.
Smell you later.
Well, do you also have some stims?
What?
Some like stimulants?
I don't do drugs.
Well, I just mean like
I mean-
energy drinks of this time.
I mean to say, I don't sell drugs. I do drugs.
Kid yourself.
I mean, fuck. I live in Night City, okay? But no, I'd suggest heading on the north side of the city center if you want to find someone to help you with that.
Oh,
All right.
fool you again, bud.
Bye. If you pop into the vehicle and start heading off. Right.
I don't got a plan of where to go.
You were the
Oh,
one
we
who
can
had
go
the
anywhere
plan.
now.
Oh wait, yeah, back to the Gibson farm.
All right.
It's been a while. Sorry,
I was about to say, wow. So heading out, go ahead and do me a favor, and go ahead and make me a driving roll.
a drive.
Don't get us in a car crash.
Never. I'd never live it down. Performance? Is it just my truck? How do I do this? I'm lost.
Should be under your front sheet.
My Bible. called driving?
Should be. Hold on.
Oh, wait, is it just the nomad ability? I can't.
Yeah, moto. Sorry. Um,
Moto.
huh.
Hello, Moto.
There's no clickable on there. Let's go to skills, and it should be under control. Drive land vehicle.
All right. I just click it. Bada boom. Wait, did
Mhm.
it take? It did.
Yep. Yeah, not too bad. You do get kind of with the 21. You do kind of get stuck in some traffic, and this is a bad roll for you. So you're upset, but everyone who's in the vehicle besides you is like, "Wow, you are gunning through Night City, no problem. You're hitting all the spots, and you're like upset
I'm
about
just tight gripping the wheel and shaking my head.
yeah." You get outside of outside of the city and start moving into the Badlands. You basically make sure to take off of the main highway that leads out of the city and start kind of heading out into the Badlands. Basically, where the roads end, you continue driving past that point on dirt roads out into the Badlands. You know the way to get to the Gibson camp, no problem. And basically, as night is kind of falling and everyone else who's in the vehicle kind of looking behind you, you can see the lights of Night City, the sky kind of red over the city center. And it looks pretty different. If you've never been outside of Night City as a character, again, your decision on that one. But it looks kind of different from being inside of it. It's also really quiet out here, so you can hear Thornton kind of going its way, doing its business, but there's really no other sounds besides it. It's kind of eerie. Up ahead, you can see some lights. You go through protocol for entering the camp, basically texting ahead and making sure that you know they're not gonna drop the turret guns on you or have any of the outriders kind of take you down either.
Some of them are probably mad at me.
Fair. Um, yeah, the vehicle pulls into camp, and what you all see is what appears to be a series of old storage containers, tractor trailers, school buses, and the like that have been kind of sandwiched side by side to kind of form an exterior wall. On top of this exterior wall, you can see that there are Militech turrets kind of slowly tracing red lines across the area. You can see that there are a couple of cars, some smaller, look like dune buggies that have been kind of outfitted to kind of move fast over rough terrain. And realizing, the Thornton, like looking as it does, realize it's perfectly suited for this as well. You can see that there's some people kind of sitting on their cars, kind of looking at you as you pass in. And there's a couple of folks that are kind of sat around a campfire in the middle of the walls as you kind of enter into the front entryway there. As you kind of pull up, you can see someone walking straight towards your truck, Calvin. And you start to think, that's Jack. Walking right over to your vehicle.
Daddy!
He kind of stops outside your car as you kind of park and settle in. Crosses his arms. He's the only one there. Nobody else is there. Just him.
Hey, Pops.
You get out?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Nah, probably get out
I'll get
first.
out too.
All right. He's crossed his arms. He's looking at you, and he says, "So, what I hear true?"
Yeah. Militech and some psychopath got him.
What I fucking tell you about Chromers?
Crummers? I'm sorry. Wait.
Out of character note. Chromer means somebody who uses a lot of chrome and kind of ups themselves with chrome cybernetics. Chromer gangs or chrome gangs are typically referred to as such. If you're familiar with the video game, the Maelstrom in that game are like really Chromer. It's a Chromer gang, a type of a booster gang, Chromer gang. He says, "What did I tell you about Chromers?
It did.
Did you at least get his rifle?
I made sure they couldn't use the rifle.
Does me a lot of fucking good. Resources are important out here. We got other different families trying to get our territory, trying to get our jobs. Fortunately, we've been able to get some good ones, and I'm hoping that you've succeeded at least in this mission, because if you fucked up my connection with Anika, I swear to fucking God, Calvin."
Nah, she owes us. But don't worry about
He
it.
kind of does. Yeah?
She's the one that got us in dirty with Militech to begin with.
Oh, shit. Well, if you can spin this sideways and we can get this to work in our favor, then great.
Job's not done yet, though, yet.
He says, "Who the fuck are these people?"
The job's not done yet. These guys are working it. We gotta protect this media for 2 hours-ish. And then she gives us some good pub. We get 5K out of it. But we probably gonna have to move the camp.
It's not a bad amount of scratch. Move the camp, huh? You see someone kind of walking up behind. Looks like you would recognize it as Shotgun, David Gibson. Your brother walking over to Daddy, and he looks over him and he says, "Hey, Pop. Hey, Calvin. I wanted to let you know about the situation." He says, "You got it handled?" David kind of nods. Yeah, we got it handled. But if anybody had eyes on him, then they're kind of being vague and looking at each other. And then
What don't I know?
Jack looks at you and says, "Yeah, so it looked like there was a Militech SUV out at the dead end, and luckily Shotgun spotted it. Him and the Outriders, what's left, managed to go and deal with them. He says he parked the Militech good distance north of here. But if anybody else was there or they had any eyes on the scene, then you could be fingered already. What's the plan? What do you need to do here? Just keep her safe, or is she doing something? Something that might draw something to the nest."
Yeah, she's uploading her story.
Out of character, is she? I mentioned the drive, and I kind of cut a bit, but I just want to make sure. Is anybody else doing anything in the car on the way here?
No.
Okay. So Caroline is still in the vehicle. She kind of looks over to Carvin and says, "You ready to help me get this thing rigged up?"
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. You already made the check and basically did it with flying colors. You know what you're doing. And you take her cyber deck and basically take control of it very quickly, attach the remote to it, and it's kind of a... cyber decks are pretty portable rigs, pretty easy to kind of keep on you. Hers is kind of like a slightly glorified like tablet, but now with this remote kind of connected to it, and the cords kind of set up the way that they are, this thing's going to be kind of a bit cumbersome to move around. You're going to have to scoop it all up and then move with it. So it sits in the vehicle at this point, and she's kind of sitting there with it, watching it. She says, "Thanks." That's all happening as you two are talking, or as you folks are talking outside. And I believe everyone besides Caroline and Carvin got out, right?
Yeah.
Did you have anything that you wanted to do in the vehicle before you got here? And Stephanie, same question.
Nope.
Okay, I got a cat at my door. I'm going to go ahead and deal with that. 1 second.
Cat says, meow, meow, let me in.
Bad. Fat cats.
Is it the baby?
It was both of the boys.
Ah.
But yeah, the shotgun steps away. Jack kind of looks to you and says, "Well, you do what you got to do. We're gonna go ahead and set up a perimeter. We're gonna go ahead and keep everybody on alert. Let them know what's going on." So looks over to the ladies and says, "Welcome to the camp of the Gibsons," and then turns and kind of walks away.
Guys, my dad.
Thanks.
Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Calvin's dad.
Cat butt. But yeah, it looks
Oh,
like
where are we setting up?
I mean, I figure as close to center as possible, probably.
yep. Let me go ahead and get you that map real quick. Should be on it right now.
Yes.
I will move everybody some tokens on there. Hold on.
It ain't the best living, but it's clean living.
Better living than I got.
Oh shit.
You have a strange definition of clean.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Everything in its place.
Nothing.
This is my couch. Well, this is our couch. Chair.
So the main thing you would note is that most of the folks are living inside of like one of the vehicles outside, or are parked a couple of 100 feet away from this, and are sleeping in their own vehicle. Calvin, you typically sleep in your truck, either the bed if it's not raining, or the cab if it is. And yeah, like I said, there's a fire going, and I know there's no tokens denoting other people, but there are a couple of people sitting around the fire. Calvin, you would recognize them as the McBride sisters. Just seems like they're just talking. You can hear kind of low whispers as you kind of walk around there. They're probably talking about you. They usually are gossip mongering. And if I remember correctly, one of them's your mother.
Oh no. They're both my sister. Wait.
Yeah, no, Velma's your mom and Nadine is David's mom. Or it's the other way around.
Your mom's gossiping about you.
They basically look the same. They're kind of twins. Stop it. You fluffy duck.
That bad cat.
I'm gonna head up to the top of one of these
Okay,
trailers to try and keep a lookout
sure.
while he's getting set up.
So, hanging from the turrets are hanging from the turret you come to is a pair of binoculars specifically for that purpose. As you kind of pull them up and kind of scope out that way, kind of looking towards the dead end, you can see that there's nobody really. There's no lights. Nothing's coming. And if they are, they're walking. Because it's dark out there, so ain't seeing too much. And unfortunately, you don't have the tech to see in the dark. So that said,
I got my high beams.
yeah. So just inside the truck, which would be just outside, as you can see.
Oh, no, I was joking.
Oh no, I was saying just outside the truck is Caroline. She's in the truck and she's still with the cyberdeck. And are you remaining with her, Carbon? Oh, sorry, not there.
He's taking a work call.
No worries. Stephanie, what is Odette doing in the meantime?
She's just kind of milling about, not really doing much in particular.
Okay. Yeah, a couple of folks kind of look at you strange. They definitely haven't seen, your like. And one of them, as you're kind of walking past her, says, "Well, what part of the city are you from?"
None of your business.
Guess that's true. Sorry, trying to make pleasant conversation. Didn't mean it. Sorry, Twits.
That's I love it.
She reels her neck back in and leaves you the fuck alone. Um, Meanwhile, as Odette's wandering around, what is Crystal doing?
Crystal's actually up near to the truck.
Okay.
I meant to move her. I can't move her.
Oh,
That's-
weird.
Yeah. But milling around the truck, kind of trying to keep an eye out. Little hand on the gun.
Okay.
Just precautions.
You would see that pretty perceptive individual. You would see that there are a couple of folks parked up near, like their vehicles are kind of parked up near bushes. And you can see that they're kind of sitting out in what appears to be a semi-competent looking scoping kind of positioning. They're kind of keeping an eye out on the northern area and just, holding it down.
So they're looking like they're part of the camp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You would
Sorry
note-
about that, guys. Work call.
No problem. You would note that there is a logo emblazoned on the Thornton that Calvin drives. It does seem that all the cars that you've seen so far have it as well. It is a star inside of a circle. The star and circle are black, and they're on like a small white circle.
Good to know. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Presumably the symbol for the Gibsons.
Yeah.
Legend says that one of us used to be a ranger in Texas. You never knew when his eyes were upon you.
I
I
can't.
don't remember how the song goes. I was gonna try and do it.
I can't approve of it because that guy's a douchebag.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
But is Walker Texas Ranger? Heck.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's Chuck Norris.
I know.
Different
I,
person. Walker's real.
okay. Chuck Norris douchebag, Walker Texas Ranger. Was it Haley Joe Osment that had? Never mind.
Sorry.
We'll discuss that at another time. That said, it seems like the camp is pretty secure. A couple of hours go by if you are just kind of holding down the fort and keeping position. And Caroline kind of shuts the cyber deck with a smile, looking at Carbon, and says, "Cash is in. All right. You should probably... well, I'll give her a call." She pulls out her agent and starts, dialing at it. And then you can kind of overhear the conversation between her and presumably your fixer. And she says, "Yep, send them through. And I'll send you yours your way." "All right, thank you, Anika. Great. You're a lifesaver." "All right, bye." Clicks. "You should have your money anytime soon. If you don't mind, can you go get somebody to drive this wagon out of here, or are we planning on camping for the night?"
I'm just kicking my feet up here.
You'd be able to overhear too, Crystal. that
Okay.
conversation.
I can go get. I forgot his name already. Calvin. I'll go get Calvin for you.
So
Good.
memorable. She nods. Thank you. Yeah, you head back into the camp. Most folks have already kind of passed out by now. It does look like Jack is awake though, kind of sitting out on the porch of the one building, kind of keeping an eye out on the door, every so often checking his agent. And Calvin, you would know that the agent has video feed from the turrets if he wants to check them. So, but that said, you see Crystal come back inside, looking over at you.
Hey, Calvin.
Hey, yeah.
Money's headed our way. She wants to head back to the city, though.
Job's
Can we
done.
take her, or
Yeah, I'll take y'all. I'll take all you guys back.
cool, cool, cool.
Huh. I didn't expect it to be so quiet.
Right?
I'll jump down. Let Pops know. Or Daddy.
Okay. He says, yeah, if you would be so kind, when you get paid, of course, send over, our cut. And you were saying something about me needing to have a conversation with Anika. Tell me a little bit more about what you're thinking, boy.
Oh, that I feel like she still owes us a debt basically because she sent us the last job that went south.
I believe that's accurate.
Militech has been involved in 2 jobs that we've run in for her so far.
It's pretty fucked up, I agree. So when you get a chance to talk to her, make sure she knows that the Gibsons, we're loyal when we need to be. If she keeps sending us up shit creek without a paddle, well, we'll do something. I was gonna say something witty, I just couldn't think of what it was. It's gonna be badass.
Yeah.
David gets it from you.
And like a badass action here, I'm turning around and walking away from an explosion. You head out again.
He's gonna be shitty. Get out of here, guys.
But yeah, if you pick back up and get into the Thornton, those of you who check your agents will see that it's not in there. You can go ahead and adjust it, but you would have 4,000 increase in your chip accounts.
Rich.
If you do not have a chip account, then you would have had a card that would have been given to you for the 1,000 in the first place. It's increased by 5 or 4 now. Total of 5.
Got it.
But yeah, you get back into the vehicle and head on along. So you're going back into Night City. Caroline would ask to be dropped off at Anika's place.
I was gonna say you probably want to not be where you were.
And if you can't drop her off at Anika's place, she would ask to be dropped off in Japantown.
Japantown.
Yep.
I mean, no,
We could
I
go
got-
get some ramen.
I mean, wait. Do y'all want to stop in Japantown? I'll just go straight to Anika.
Whatever you want to do, you're the one driving. You going to Anika?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm driving to Anika's, but I asked that to the people in the truck.
Oh. Yeah, let's go. I ain't got nowhere to be.
Fair. Does anybody else have
I
any?
mean, literally.
Does anybody else want to be dropped off somewhere different?
I'm always down for Japantown.
All right. And Carvin.
No, I'm good. Going along.
Okay. So brand new friends, bit of money in your pockets, heading out for a night on the town. You drop off Caroline Medina at Anika's apartment complex. She seems to head up the same way she went in before. And if you don't have any words with Anika or anybody present, you go ahead and get into the vehicle and head off looking for a ramen shop to eat at. There are a couple of good places. There is the Twisted Noodle, which is not too far from where you're at. Yeah, you head on over there. When you arrive, it's pretty quiet. It's definitely really late. And you can see as you're kind of entering into the establishment, the gentleman behind the counter who would be greeting you kind of gives you a look like, how many?
Or
So wherever you want. Kind of grudgingly heads into the back. You hear, "Why'd you fucking seat them?" And then he comes back out
Rude.
with waters and sets them out in front of you.
Everything all right?
It's just we're about to close in, about 20 minutes.
We'll be quick.
Alright. He heads into the back. You can see that one of the flaps that are kind of blocking off the kitchen from the dining room kind of opens up a little bit. And you can see an older looking gentleman kind of looking at you. Looks like his left eye is absolutely chromed out. Kind of like a green kind of glow to it. And his rest of his face is kind of just very worn and weathered. It kind of looks like the skin around the cyber eye is kind of like pulled taut onto it, whereas the rest of the flesh has been kind of just left to be wrinkly. Definitely a weird patching of facial hair on the individual. Very scraggly, kind of looking out, and he kind of shuts it. But after about 10 minutes, you are served your bowls of ramen. Are you talking at all during the sitting?
Nope, just awkward silence.
Awkward silence the whole time.
No, I'll ask. Like now that we know each other better a bit, like, I guess that's like lore stuff though. Like no one here actually knows like how they met Anika, right?
You can make it up. So the best part about Punk is as long as you're not saying that like we went to, space and then fought dragons and I don't care, so long as it's and if you know somebody, you can say I know a guy. We'll make it canon. Again, just roleplay. Don't be bent down by the rules or the realisticness of it. Just go with it.
She used to be part of my Scrabble club.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't played Scrabble in forever.
Can't imagine Anika playing Scrabble.
Oh, she's good at it too.
All right, lady.
The the server comes out with the ramen at that point. And do you need anything else?
Got any sake?
Got what?
Sake?
Oh yeah,
Sake?
for sure. Serves
Beer?
that.
Yeah.
He would have that as well. He would serve whatever you ordered,
I'll take the beer.
leaving you to your conversations.
Great, great.
Oh, you meet her, Carbon.
Do what?
You were playing a game.
I'm your agent. How dare you?
How'd you meet Anika?
I don't know. Stephanie, you gonna
Find her
mute?
online.
So I can't talk whenever she's not muted because it messes me up from talking. Now I've lost my train of thought.
I don't know.
How'd you find her? I don't know.
I just know these things. Like I just find people. I don't know.
Well, she found you kind of things.
Net stuff.
I know a lot. I know a lot of people.
Cool.
Why are you hassling me?
Just the things that connect us. Right now is Anika in this job. So. Just curious.
Fair point.
Crystal?
Met her at a club. We got drunk together. We cried in a bathroom. She gave me then she said that she had a job and I took it and we've been friends ever since.
Crying in the bathroom. Anika. Ah, man.
You'd be surprised how often it happens.
Well, mine's pretty boring because, she's just been working with the family for a long time and by proxy with me.
Honestly, a better way to find out about someone.
As you're sitting there, the gentleman who I mentioned with the strange eye in the back kind of comes out, kind of wiping his hands with a towel, kind of throws it over his shoulder, and walks over to the door. And you see him kind of lock the door shut and flip the sign from open to close. And then he kind of walks over in your direction and he says, "How is everything?
Fantastic. Thank
Good.
you.
Sorry about that outburst earlier. Apologies. Is there anything else I can get you?"
I'm gonna ask him for sake in Japanese.
He replies in kind and says, "Of course," and heads towards the back. Kind of stops for a second, turns, looks him back at you, and says, "You're that Ripper Doc over in Haywood, aren't you?
Yep.
You know, I've been told about you. I've been meaning to get some work done. My hands are a bit jittery. Do you mind if I get your deets?"
Oh yeah, no problem. I can fix you.
You quickly pass information via agent to agent. He is now a connection on your phone. I'll put him here in a bit. And then he kind of walks back into the back and smiles and says, "Yeah, I'll be right back." And he comes back out. From what you can tell, the sake he brings is probably his top shelf stuff. Sets it out on the table and says, "On me."
Oh, yay! Thank you.
But yeah, you definitely have a bit left in your bowl. It's only been about 20 or so minutes. Conversation seems to still be lively.
I'm showing everybody my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh yeah, that you used to get the deal on the...
None of these are holographic. These are boring.
You know how hard it is to get one of those though? Like it's really hard.
Your game!
I'm not good enough.
Well,
Everybody's got Trap Worm. I've got fucking Mystical Space Typhoon. That's it.
Oh my god.
it's so long since I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't
I lo-
remember any of the cards.
I love it. But yeah, again, just sitting there. Just I keep interjecting.
Anyone have a next gig? Any regular gigs?
I mean, if you want to help me and the family move a bunch of trailers to another secret locale in the desert, I figure that's probably going to be my next 2 weeks.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry, I'll have to do that. At least y'all got a space.
True.
Y'all need help.
You a true wanderer?
Elizabeth.
Y'all need help.
No, he said, "Are you a true
Oh.
wanderer?"
Oh, a true
You actually don't
wanderer?
have a place to call home?
Oh, yeah. I sleep where I want.
Well, one of my brothers, Richard, died on that roof. So if you're ever looking to be an outrider, got a spot.
Cool. That an invitation?
I don't know if I can give the invitations, but I'll put a good word in for you.
Okay, okay.
You're a direct
That's fair.
son of the boss. I mean, you're pretty sure.
Yeah, but he always liked David better.
David did seem pretty cool.
Ah, fuck that guy. Can't answer the phone. You didn't know him.
You know him like I know him.
Yeah. The guy comes out again, sets the bill out on the table.
I got it.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 170.
Pennies.
Exactly. That's one. That's 3 hours of work for me.
I don't have the token image up yet, but the name is in your contact list, Odette. His name's Soda Shinzo.
I'll lay down a $30 tip for him for the
Cash?
trouble. Yeah.
Right on. And a good mentality when it comes to mathematics and also inflation costs, just so you have an idea. One eddy is worth about half a dollar. So in your mind, so if something in your mind costs like $5, it's going to cost 10 eddy. So that meal, in actuality, in your kind of mental worth, probably was closer to around 80,
Oh, 80.
$90
Oh,
for four
we kept
people.
them open late.
Yeah.
Oh, so was that original price in Eddie's then?
Yeah, the 170 was in Eddie's. I'm always going to speak in
Oh, okay,
Eddie's.
okay.
Eddie's should be what you have. I'm just saying, for you as a real life person to try and equate like what worth is worth, you're going to hear prices. You're going to be like, for that, that's only $5. And I'm going to be like, no, it's 10 Eddie's, because that's where we live.
Right. Original.
Wait, you said 170 eddies?
Yeah, for the bill. Yep.
Oh. No, even more. Like,
So it'd be half. So it would be about 90.
yeah.
Just a little under 90. 85 if you want to get super technical.
We'll leave him 90.
Well, yeah. Anyways.
Help him out.
We all got each other's contacts ready, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming
No.
so. What?
No?
Nobody's passed anybody contacts.
Oh, shit.
Aw, shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to fix that.
There was a
Yeah.
moment. There was a moment where Odette was about to give Crystal her contact, and it didn't happen. So
Oh.
yeah, as you're sitting up there, you start passing each other your contact information. Perfectly
Yeah, if
fine.
anybody's ever in a pinch, let me know. I'm doing my best.
And I'll get you set up so that you have your communication in side step there. But yeah, just sitting at the table. It doesn't look like he's rushing you out or anything. If you want to continue your conversation, or if you want to hitch a ride. I mean, you got to drive another hour or so to get back out. It'll probably be easier, it being the middle of the fucking night, so probably not too many folks are driving in and out of the city. But if these people are trying to bum rides off you, that might be a problem. City is lively as fuck. It's gonna be busy.
Aw, shit. I'll take people wherever they need to go.
All right.
One night only. Your Uber's here.
Driving us around, treating us to food.
Well, no, just this one.
Once.
Just this one.
Mm.
It's Gibson family policy. Be nice one time.
Oh yeah. We're trying to get back good in public opinion. So
Right. Then once they get to know you, fuck them.
yeah, then they're just taking advantage of you.
True.
But yeah, if you have anything planned, if not, you drive everybody home to their respective locations. I'm presuming based on just simplicity's sake, Calvin, you drop off, Odette and then Carbon, or Carbon then Annette, based on where you're coming from, and then.
Oh shit. Actually, can I go grab the remnants of the gun while I'm dropping Odette off?
Oh yeah. So are you gonna drop Carbon off first, or do you want to drop Odette off just to see if you need them to stay with you?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming everything's fine.
Okay. All right. So then, yeah, you drop Carbon off. Then you head over to Odette's. When you get there, you can see that there is NCPD present on the scene. Looks like they have their hollow lines drawn up, which would be basically police line bars that create kind of like a light beam between that says police, keep out. An effective police tape without wasting tape. There are a couple of NCPD officers on the scene. It does look like there is an Aerodyne that has landed just on that massive street in between the two buildings. And from what you can see, too, there are a couple of cars over on the opposite side at the building where you're pretty sure Coomer was the last time you heard from him. It looks like
Ain't
they're
getting back in there.
investigating the scene pretty heavily. Out on the street, you can see a couple of people. One of the people you recognize, Odette, it is none other than your coworker, Sagan. And
Cops.
you can see that the NCPD is kind of going through tablets in hand, taking notes, and you kind of drive up. Okay. One of the officers kind of walks up to your window before you kind of park or anything, kind of gives you a on the window.
Hey there.
Hey, you a resident?
Not here. Someone is in the car.
Oh, you dropping them off?
Yeah.
Well, apologies, citizen. Real fucked up situation has arisen. Excuse my French. The seems a cyber psycho attacked the building. A group of 4 individuals left the scene, trying to get information on them and trying to talk to some of the people that were in the building at the time of the attack. You weren't here between the hours of, and basically this is the time when the attack happened. Do you say you were or you weren't?
Nah.
All right. Been out having a good time. Looks like it. You can kind
Yeah.
of see the flush on your cheeks. Well, this isn't going to take too long. If you want to go ahead and park there, kind of gestures to a place. You can see that there are a couple of cars already waiting too. If you park there, you can go ahead and hold off. If you want to drop off the person who's going and go on about your business, that's fine. They'll just have to wait here before we let them up into the building.
I mean, we can just come back later.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
That works too. That'd actually be prepared to clear the scene. Thanks, citizens. Have a good one. Heads back over to cop business. You drive off, Odette, and Calvin doesn't seem to have noticed you had arrived or anything. You also don't think he's the type of person who would be a snitch. So
Good. Hate those.
that said, you've got Crystal still in the vehicle. Where does she want to be dropped off?
Probably closer to
Or you could be like, hey, we got rid of that dorky netrunner. You ladies want to keep living it up?
I mean,
Hey.
hey.
I'm still in the truck.
I'm saying you're the one that says that. You said that we got rid of the dork. Carbon's
Oh, I said? I don't know.
It's not like real life where Michael's the really cool guy and you're not. Like it's the opposite of that.
In this game, he's a nerd.
I know it's hard to believe.
It's a huge stretch of a character for me.
Fair. I will say, Carbon, when you get back into your apartment, none of your contingencies have fired off. Nobody's entered your apartment. You're fine. And when you kind of get in and check your stuff, you will note that there is a secure note from Anika thanking you for the assistance on this and to keep an eye on your messages with her. She thinks she might have another job lined up for you. That said, those of you still in the truck, anything that you want to do in particular? Because I mean, Crystal can be dropped off anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably close to like where the club districts are. if there's like nightlife.
Yeah, Haywood, downtown. Downtown's kind of up here. You could probably mess around in um, Japantown's not too bad. But the main
Oh,
like
we were
part,
just there.
yeah, the main party place to go to would probably be for you would probably be Haywood. It's not expensive. Well, it's not too terribly expensive compared to other places.
Probably where I'd want to go. Y'all want to go clubbing, or you just want to drop me off?
Oh, I'm down. Do you want to party?
Yeah, we got money now. Let's do it. I like her.
All right. So you head out. You know a place called the Astral Sea in Haywood. It's a club, um, and it's also a pretty good place to kind of just connect with people. Get info, get jobs, get gigs, or just have a good time.
Right in the bathroom.
Cry in the bathroom, which serves two purposes, to be fair. There's that option. There's also Barry's in Haywood, which is a pub, kind of it's got a couple billiard tables, small time scene, quiet, but same kind of scenario. There's a lot of people who are connected. It's a pretty good place to find gigs as well. Any of those two jump out at you?
Crystal's more of the lively kind, not the pub.
All right, just gotta give options. So you head to the Astral Sea. There is kind of a. I wish I could switch to techno music on command. I don't think I have. I don't think I have any though. The system. The system is down. The system is down.
Oh, I don't have my rave programmed yet.
I said, "Come on, Fahogo gods." I said,
Oh my
"Come
god.
on."
Everybody's to the limit. The cheat is to the limit.
Oh my god.
There's a
We're
kind of
old.
dark hallway that leads into like the center core of a larger building, which is close enough to a mega building in size to be considered one. You head into this kind of long hallway that leads into the core portion of it. Dark hallway. You can see pink lights kind of every so often, and you can see up ahead a sliding door that kind of opens up as you enter into it. The floor is completely covered in glass paneling that has kind of digital displays over it, which are just constantly kind of moving with kind of pink, purples, and dark colors kind of on the ground. There are light streakers that kind of move across the ground, kind of showing you in your direction. You can see that there is a doll who kind of sees you and kind of gives you a happy gesture and starts kind of gesturing for you to follow the light paths in one specific direction. To the other side of her, as you enter in, there's security, which you've never had to deal with before, Crystal. But you know that the guy who's in there is X Orbital Air, which is a corporation that does like space shit. And he is a bit of a known figure. He goes by the handle Spaced, and typically just keeps to himself. But you've seen a couple of times like people throw down in the Astral Sea and get their shit pushed in by this guy. He literally just does not fuck around. He is a fighter, a brawler, and he's got a pretty meaty gun in his pocket too.
And a stud.
He's a pretty cool guy. There's a dance floor, which kind of has like an electrical kind of like gridding to it, so you know which portion of the element is the dance floor. There's a stage. There are several brain dance booths as well in this place. And typically they have like a featured kind of brain dance, which will be like a modifier to the music that are being played. The music that's played here is typically very poppy, I guess is the best way to say it, but at the same time it's very electronic kind of music. They don't really deal with kind of the rock bands of the 20s. They don't really care too much about that stuff, but they don't care as long as it has kind of like a a strong vibe to it and a good feel that can be danced to, like real good dance music, house music. It plays here. At current, there is no band because it's the middle of the week, really. But there is still a decent element that's present. Having a great time. The bar seems to have a number of different people at it. Yeah, what are you doing when you first get in, Crystal? There's,
At least acknowledge the guy for one.
Yeah, there are booths. Sorry, that's where
Yeah.
the doll. And when I say doll, I want to make sure you understand. There are women who can have and men. Sorry, and everything in between that can have programs kind of installed into them, and they are referred to as dolls because what they do is they can augment their programming and connect it to your kind of connectivity, like your mental status, and basically be whatever you want them to be. So they'll know the right thing to say. They'll know exactly, how you're feeling at the moment.
Well, that's a dangerous game.
And that those people, people who kind of function in that way, are referred to as dolls. So that individual at the front is one of those individuals. And Crystal, you would know that the Astral Suite does have an upstairs where people have private rooms, and several of the working staff here entertain.
Right.
But yeah, you enter in. Bar, booth, dance floor, brain dance stations, all things going on. What would you like to do?
Was that to me? Sorry.
Yep, you're the leaders.
Okay.
So,
Right. Sorry, neighbors were fighting in the hallway. Got distracted. Probably head straight to the bar. More interested in drinking and dancing.
okay. You see some familiar faces if you've been here, in the last couple of weeks. Barkeep is a very well-groomed male. Kind of walks over to you, kind of does one of these, and says, "Yeah, what would you like tonight?"
The usual, probably some kind of cocktail.
Starts shaking it up, pours it out. Probably something very, I'm guessing, kind of just based on Crystal's style, just something that's very sweet, easily
Consumed.
consumed, but easily misinformed about how potent it actually is.
Yeah.
Crystal strikes me as the type of person who is going to get very, very wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
White girl wasted.
I was gonna
That is her MO.
Yeah.
Crying in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, the
her
California.
MO.
She is 100%
Your stereotypical.
stereotype.
Yes.
But
Except she has a gun and she will shoot you.
she does have an assault rifle.
Yeah, she's one of those stereotypes until it's time for work, and then she's gonna beat the shit out of you.
And it's serious mode. There are a couple of people at the bar besides you, and the other two, I presume, would have followed up in kind. The main people that you're kind of looking at here are just, your typical regular folk. But there does appear to be one individual who's present. He is in here. Hold on, let me see if I can't do this real quick. Bear with me. I'm gonna try and work some magic.
You can do it.
You can do it.
All right. Let's see if this works.
Happening. Hit up Carbon, be like,
Is it
hey
completely?
Carbon.
Carbon's missing out. What a
Yeah.
nerd.
Just gonna hit him up and be like, hey man, we weren't able to drop off our debt. Still hanging.
So you should be able
Oh,
to see.
that place looks so cool.
Yeah. And the music that's currently playing isn't accurate. It is a lot more bassy I mean, it definitely is more of a, you can feel the vibe. Even despite that, the barkeep, when you walked up to him and he kind of leaned in and said what he said, you could hear him. Like, so you're presuming that he was trying to sound light and quiet, but he's obviously done this long enough that he knows exactly what is needed for you to hear him perfectly.
Right.
But the person that I was going to mention, sorry, the other individual is a seems to be what you would consider Crystal as a solo. He is a when I say solo, I mean like a soldier type.
Yeah.
He
Like-
is, I want to say, um, kind of disheveled, wearing kind of like a dirty white kind of sweater vest. Not sweater vest. No, not a sweater vest. It's a vest kind of sweater, but it's not a sweater vest. He's got a backpack over. He's got a backpack on. Pair of glasses hanging from the line of the sweater he's wearing. Ammunition kind of settled into the backpack straps, and on his back you can see that he has a assault rifle. It does look like most people are kind of keeping their distance from him, and he's kind of got his arms doing this, and he's kind of holding the drink, whatever he's drinking, and taking them down pretty quick. Looks like he's got about 4 empties in front of him already. But yeah, he seems to be the only person at the bar who's of any note.
So he doesn't look familiar to me then.
No, you've never seen him before.
Okay. Do I recognize the majority of the people?
They look like regulars. Nobody of import though.
Cool, cool.
You can roll a d10 to see if you can catch his reputation though. So how
Let's
reputation
try.
works, and you all have a reputation of 1. If somebody nailed it, so if somebody rolls to recognize somebody, you roll under the reputation, and you know who they are, equal to or under their reputation. So remember how when you first met, I had you roll a d10 and nobody rolled a 1. You all have a reputation of 1 because you're effectively nobodies. This guy seems to have a little bit more renown. You recall him. So he's an individual named Shaker. Shaker is a solo who typically runs around with another solo named Mover and Shaker. They work as a pair, and Shaker is kind of known to be a wet worker. What that means is if you deal with wet work operations, you're typically close enough to a person when killing them for the splatter to matter. And this guy is a stone cold killer, from what you can understand of what you've heard about him. You remember hearing that he did a job where he tangoed with Militech operatives out in the Badlands. And from what you remember of that story, he was on top of a Militech SUV, blind firing into the vehicle, and he rolled it and somehow lived to tell the tale. So
Man.
So basically, hot.
he's not exactly a looker. I mean, he does. I mean, it depends. Like again,
But his reputation.
Yeah. He is hot by reputation. He definitely looks kind of like let's see if I can find him.
Like a really deformed Ryan Gosling from Deadpool.
I mean, he's not. I guess he's not that. Hold on here. I think I got a token.
He's got the sick moves.
Shaker.
Did you say Ryan Gosling?
Is it not Ryan Gosling? It's Ryan
Reynolds.
It's the wrong Ryan.
Too many Ryans.
But
Too many Chris's.
That's what he looks like.
He's not bad. A little rough.
Yeah,
Could probably just like get rid of
that whole thing. Just
a little
go bald.
shave it.
But yeah, you said you sent Carbon a text.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Be like, hey yo, we still hanging because can't drop off Odette. I can round you back up. Giving up on the accent. I can't do it.
I gave up on the Valley Girl accent. It's okay.
It's fair. But yeah, besides him, there's not really anybody of interest at the bar. So, anything in particular?
Probably wait for the drink and then
Yep.
kind of slide over towards them and be like, haven't seen you around here.
I've been around here, he says.
Said he hadn't.
I haven't been around here.
Oh. Well, what brings you to this side of town?
A friend of mine said the drinks weren't bad. Atmosphere is not my thing, but most of Night City ain't my thing.
What is your thing?
Kind of looks at you, kind of like places his elbow on the bar, sets his hand on his chin, kind of looking at you. Kind of does one of these. I don't know. And then
disappointed.
No, it doesn't look like disappointed. It kind of like he kind of gives you like a look over, and then kind of looks back to his drinks. Like he despite the fact that there are 5 empties in front of him, that's not enough liquid courage. Like is the vibe that you're getting. He kind
of no. Crystal's disappointed that he's just not
gotcha
reciprocating.
So he kind of turns back to the barkeep, who kind of comes over, sets another drink in front of him. The barkeep says to him, the bartender rather, barkeep, I'm fucking playing Dungeons and Dragons. He says, I'm gonna have to cut you off after that one. Shaker kind of nods his head. Yeah, sure, whatever. Looks back to you. And says, "Briggs, are you from around here?"
Yeah.
He does seem to be a bit inebriated, by the way. He goes, "Oh, cool. You happen to have any work?"
Just finished a job and celebrating. We're looking for more.
I'm talking about for you. I'm talking about for me. You're not a job giver.
No, unfortunately.
Nods his head. Kind of turns over his shoulder and looks back into the back corner and says, "If you can give me an audience with him, maybe I'll whatever you're thinking." And when he kind of looks up, when he kind of looks over his shoulder, you see that he looks in the back corner, and there's a couple of people sitting in the booth at the far end of the bar. One of them is a Asian individual with kind of like a long coat. Sitting next to him, he's kind of like on the outside of the booth. Sitting next to him appears to be a katana. Across from him is a black man wearing also a long trench coat. He's wearing a pair of sunglasses on, but they appear to have kind of metal framing kind of connected to like his face. He's smoking a cigarette, which appears to be kind of solid black and kind of burning kind of a weird kind of gray, but the light's kind of making it look more, I don't know, bright and vibrant from over here. And the third person in the booth is a woman, white lady. She's wearing a set of the same kind of goggles that Carbon has, except hers are kind of bigger and they look like they're more upmarket. And she's wearing a complete skin-tight leather suit with all sorts of weird attachments to it. On her left arm, you can see she has a cyber deck, which again looks upmarket compared to Carbon's.
Mm-hmm.
When you said black guy trench coat, I was going Morpheus.
No, sorry, hold on. Because this guy doesn't have the bald Morpheus look. Because when I said glasses, I saw you laughing. I was like, "What are you laughing about?" And then when you put that in context, that makes sense. But no, he does not look like Morpheus. He looks like. Let me see if I can't find him. Add. And hold on. Sorry. I'm gonna get better at this, I promise.
You good.
Should be up on your screen.
Oh, he
That's
looks
sick.
cool.
Cool guy right there.
That's sick.
So you would actually need to roll reputation when he kind of makes you look over in that direction, because this guy's got a pretty good one.
Can we all roll or just one?
Anybody who's looking over that way, yeah.
I can roll. 10, right?
Yeah, you roll a d10.
Cool. 10.
You have no idea. You've seen him around before. He's stopped in, and typically when he does pop in, he sits over there. And you just don't know who he is, but you think he's some sort of you think he's a fixer, just not one you've had the pleasure of meeting. Stephanie with a 6, you actually know exactly who that is. That's Grease. Grease is one of the most known fixers in Haywood. He basically is, kind of high market when it comes to jobs and gigs, and apparently this individual Shaker wants to get in good graces with this guy, from what you could overhear.
Take my drink, mosey on over there, and like, hey, Grease, how you doing?
As you're heading over in that direction, you can see the Asian gentleman kind of see you approaching. You see him kind of grab the sword, kind of saddle it in, and then kind of grab it and allow the blade to kind of be shown. It's like a red polished steel that seems to kind of be glowing hot as it's being pulled out of the sheath. And as you say, "Hey, Grease, how's it going?" you see Grease kind of raise his hand up like this to the guy with the sword, who kind of settles it back in. And he kind of does one of these like that to the guy with the sword. Guy gets up. Grease gestures towards the placement in front of him and says, "Have a seat, my lady."
Oh, I shall. I'll just plop down there.
You're Odette, huh? Working for, or working with, rather, that old Ripper Doc, yeah?
Yeah, it's more like he works for me, but
I like your sass. So, what brings you on to the sea?
Well, we just got done with a job, me and my new friends, and we're just kind of
Job?
having fun now.
Job? I didn't hear nothing about a job. Who you working for?
Some reporter lady.
Reporter lady. Well, that's
Yeah.
interesting. You got yourself a fixer?
No, actually, no.
Well, that's weird. Weren't working in my neck of the woods, were you?
I don't think we were. I'm not quite sure where your neck of the woods was, to be honest.
Now you've lost me with all that, confidence and chutzpah you had coming on over. And now you seem a little bit more flaky. So, what brings you on over to Grease's table?
I'm a little bit drunk, and you seemed interesting.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not terribly interested in, kind of gestures at you. Yeah.
Rude!
Damn.
My ego.
You see him kind of raise his hand, and you see the Asian guy come back over and kind of do one of these, standing next to you, waiting for you to get up.
Okay, whatever. Just get up and leave.
Sits back down. As you're heading back over that way, you see two women enter into the room, enter into the club. They kind of look at the doll and kind of nod. You are confused by their styling, but probably the closest person to understanding it in this place. They're wearing very frilly dresses that seem to have kind of patternings on them. Very strange, ornate dresses, but very old styling. When I say old, I don't mean like the 20s. I don't mean like the 90s. I'm talking about like the 1600s. These ladies are dressed in the weirdest of frills and laces. One of them's wearing a bonnet. The other one is wearing kind of a strange coat over top of it, and both of them seem to have on their arms kind of an armband that seems to have a very stylized kind of gang symbol that says Angelic Petty on it. As they walk over to the bar, they kind of seem to have a lot of people kind of moving away from them. Crystal, you're familiar with Angelic Petty. They mostly deal in the city center. From what you understand, they are a fashion gang that is very, very intent on gathering up as much of the street fashions that are available inside of the ruins of the city center, especially in Arasaka Tower, so that they can have it and no one else can. Other than that, you know that they're pretty savage. Like they are pretty nuts. One of the girls you're looking at there has a pretty wicked smart gun, SMG, which you would know is a Kang Tao a weapon that she's got there. That's pretty powerful. They move over to the bar, order some drinks. But yeah,
First of all, they didn't have bonnets in the 1600s.
I don't know. 1800s?
Rip.
Is that what-
1800s, yes. 1600s was roughs, and Oliver Cromwell, the big giant Puritan collars.
This is what?
You're like 200 years off. This is what I'm here for. So Crystal will look over at them, kind of look them up and down, say, cute dress.
They kind of look past you and are kind of looking at the drunk girl walking back over to the bar. They kind of do one of these, like, and they kind of move back to their drinks.
Ouch.
The guy you're sitting there near, Shaker, kind of looks at your friend as she comes back and says, "Well, any luck?" He says to Odette.
Oh no, he dissed me. He dissed
Yeah.
me pretty bad.
Yeah, me too. I I know your pain. He goes back to his now 7th drink, which somehow he was able to get a hold of another.
He was
one.
on his 5th.
Yep. But yeah, what are you doing? Have you just been standing there the whole time, Calvin? Like
Me?
I'm used to being out in the backwoods.
Yeah, I'm used to bar drinking. Club life is a different animal to me.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I saw a bartender, even though that's not what they call him here.
to put this in context, like, because again, it is a blank map, and I'm not putting a whole bunch of tokens down. But the people at the bar are just kind of like muscling in, trying to get their drinks, then moving back out to other parts of the area here, mainly the dance floor. That thing in the center there with like the chairs around it, that's a brain dance station. So you sit down, you put on a set of kind of strange goggles called a wreath, and it basically changes your perception of reality and makes it so that you're seeing and feeling like what other people who are recording into that would have felt at the time that they recorded. It looks like they're having a great ass time. There are people dancing on that square in the center there. There's no band up on stage, so some people are kind of sitting on stage, kind of talking. There's definitely a lot of cigarette smoke in the air. All the booths are filled, and every so often you'll see someone come out of the side room there, coming out, tap on the bar, bartender comes over, gives them whatever they want. Looks like it's a doll who's going back and forth. So what you're assuming is there's bottle service and some VIP room behind that door. After a fashion, the two women in the dresses, one of them, the blonde woman with kind of pink dress and overcoat, kind of walks over to you and says, "Oh, hey, where'd you get that dress?" You mean...
I look her up and down too, and I'm just like, I have a collection. Where'd you get yours?
She's wearing Cat's Tea Party, and she has her hair kind of done in like two kind of long tails. She says, "Yeah, pulled it out of a old security rig just beneath Arasaka Tower." Are you saying you got yours from like Japan, actually?
Yeah, I've been there a few times.
Holy shit! Yeah, ever since that fucking madman Silverhand blew up the tower, not many people have come out here from Japan, so that's really crazy. Do you got a connection? Can you hook us up?
I can see what I can do. I haven't really been there since, but...
Alright, I'm Barbie. Let me get your deets, she says as she pulls out her agent. You flip some information, and then she kind of starts heading back, and she says, I'll send you. I'll shoot you a text tomorrow morning. And she heads over to the other girl, who's the one in the bonnet with black hair, and she's doing this. She's mad looking. When they get over there, the doll comes back out of the VIP room, kind of taps on it, and then looks at the two girls and kind of points at them. They kind of nod, and they head into the back, away from you lot, you common dregs.
Rude.
Do they have all the parts of Exodia though? Shh.
Oh shit! You laying down more cards.
Oh my god, I don't think they do, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Exactly. Doesn't get more cyberpunk than ancient Egyptian card game.
Fair enough.
Fair. But yeah, Calvin, I haven't really touched on you a lot. Yeah, it's a weird scene to be sure.
I mean, I'd just be, dipping out of the beers I'm ordering at the bar with my new money.
So they're microbrews. There's nothing that you're used to, nothing that you've really dealt with. A lot of this is kind of craft beer.
Oh, they don't have normal beer here?
Yeah, the only thing they have on tap is a bubble dog, is what they're calling it. And when you drink it, it's kind of like a really tart. It's an IPA, a very fruity IPA.
Who wants to taste their beer, man? Just give me liquid alcohol.
He says, "Well, I mean, are you just wanting to get drunk?" The bar tender says, "What? Are you just wanting to get drunk, or?"
I got time to kill.
All right, he says. He kind of settles a shot glass and then pours one thing in real quick, throws it back underneath the counter, pulls out something very small, and seems to plunge a little bit of liquid into the top of it, just filling it out at the top, and then slides that over to you. That should do you.
You got a name for this?
Yeah, it's called a vodka tonic.
Delicious.
It's a
Vodka
shot,
tonic.
It's a shot glass, and it was all vodka and like something on the top.
Here's, mate. Pop it down.
It's straight vodka. You're pretty sure the tonic part was probably Everclear.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
His throat's on fire, but he loves it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn, Calvin, getting litty.
I think that's
Like
what the
Calvin's
frat
probably the
boys
kind of
call
character that drinks
angel juice.
tartar. Angel juice.
Shit,
That-
you not.
Definitely
That
not.
sounds like a bad time.
Definitely not wanting to
It is.
obstruct anyone from doing anything. Is there anything in particular, Michael, that Carbon would be doing during the evening, or is he going straight to bed? It's been a long day, so I just want to make sure I don't leave you out if you have something you want to do.
Nope. So I was actually gonna say that I am also arriving at the same club right now.
Okay, perfect.
Currently,
Yeah, so
I got the text from Calvin and everything, and decided to come on out.
took a taxi. Boom.
Yep.
Entering in.
Yep.
Just as Calvin's kind of you kind of look over and can see that Carbon's kind of walking into the scene.
Meanwhile, I'm just downing shots to deal with my rejection.
The people in these clubs are dicks. Jeez.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been.
Welcome
to
to
a
the
club
city.
in the city, guys. The first thing you notice, Carbon, as you kind of enter in, is that there appears to be a pretty prominent data fortress present here in this location. And I don't know if your character's ever been to this bar or not, but you would know that the data fortress, the security system, is not only for itself, but it's also for the mega building that it's a part of. Which you would know that there's probably a group of netrunners who kind of operate it. So playing netrunner games here might be, it'll out you for sure, but it might be more problematic than anything else.
Yep. And so Carbon has actually been here before because of he doesn't or what are they called, the like table thing in the center. I'm like
Brain dance.
brain dance. I'm brain farting. So
Too many brain
he,
dances.
he comes here for that because you don't want to risk doing that on your own personal stuff. So
Yeah.
Wow.
he comes here for it time to time. But basically, I go up to the bar and me going up next to Calvin, just kind of nod, say, "Hey, I'd like a pint of space
A
station."
vodka tonic.
Got it.
You see,
Right.
that was so you were talked over. Say the name of the beer again, though. Good.
Yeah. So I wanted a pint of a space station middle finger by
Got-
3 Floyds.
Got you. And pours the beverage.
Totally real beer, by the way.
from the
God.
bottle, very
course.
very slowly into it, and says, "Here you go, from the world of the realness," because the thing I made up was fake. It was just a combination of two things I know. I was like, dogfish head.
I'm
Real
gonna
enough.
Bubble.
I believed it.
I'm gonna slide up next to Carbon and put my arm around him. Carbon, buddy,
Oh my
what
god.
are you doing?
You trashed it.
Don't you owe me like some food or something for talking to that guy before?
Oh yeah, I do. Just order whatever you want. I got you.
They don't serve food here.
Yeah, they don't.
If you
Guess
brain
you're buying
dance,
him beer now.
if you brain dance someone that's eating food, does it sate your hunger?
It so it's strange. You still have your normal cognitive and body functions. If they feel like they just ate a full meal, you'll feel like that on top of you being starving hungry.
That sounds trippy.
So, yeah, if you've ever experienced those things, but never at the same time, try and piece out how that might be if they were to happen simultaneously. But yeah, a woman walks over to Calvin, kind of sits next to you. She's wearing a red dress, kind of short, wavy blonde hair. Pulls out a cigarette out of a cigarette case from a small clutch she's got. Looks down at her hands and looks over at you and says, "Do you have a light?"
I feel like probably I'd have a light.
You kind of fumble through your pockets for a second, pull out an old Zippo lighter.
Whatcha?
She smokes a cigarette. Thank you. And it's the same kind of black, papered cigarette that the fixer had back in the corner. And she looks at you and she says, "Oh, Gibson's, huh?"
You know us?
Yeah.
Good pub?
I've heard about you. Couple of jobs back, from what I remember. Sorry, apologies. Alicia. She says as she gestures her hand out.
Alvin.
Yeah, I work for Biotechnica.
Legit. My last job.
Yeah, I had heard about that. Militech gave you some issues, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, not too often I get to see one of the family around, but good that
Not
you,
usually my scene, yeah.
good that you feel comfortable enough to enter the city without any problems. She says as she smiles and kind of slowly starts to turn away from you.
I mean, do I recognize her? How do you call that?
She's a corp. She's a corpo. She's
A
probably
corpo.
She's
Should have known.
she's probably an ink pusher or a desk jockey of some sort.
One of those damn establishment types.
100%. Do you punch her in the face?
Nah. That's not a plus in the family's public image.
Hell no.
I'm playing the game of politics, even though it's not really my style.
Call out to Calvin. Hey, what are you talking to that square for?
Oh my gosh.
Still holding on the carpet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
My last jobs.
go ahead.
I was just saying she was one of my last jobs.
Okay. Yeah, are you moving away from her and going back to the group, or do you want to talk to her or interact with her at all?
I'll buy her a vodka tonic.
Oh, she says, "Oh no, a little too strong for me. I was just having." Says exactly the name of the beer that Michael just said.
I could have sworn he got a vodka tonic too.
No.
I'll just
Space
get-
station
I'll
middle
just-
finger.
Yeah.
I didn't know we were gonna. I didn't know we were gonna be sponsored, but
Like for real, I would love to be sponsored by Three Floyds Brewing Company. Oh my gosh, that'd be so great.
And it turns out we were the corpos after all.
No.
Oh shit!
Oh,
uh,
my identity.
By the way, meantime, Crystal is gonna finish her drink and head to the dance floor.
okay. Shaker kind of is pretty intoxicated when you kind of move away from him. He doesn't really seem to follow. You head out to the dance floor. Lots of folks that you are familiar with out there, having a good time. After a bit, during kind of like a song exchange, the
Nice can art.
others kind of off to the side. Asian gentleman kind of walks over to you, one hand kind of holding a sword, other hand kind of free. Kind of walks over to you and says, "Can I ask you to come over and sit with us?"
Crystal?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And he kind of gestures.
sure. Why not?
Kinda
Crystal
makes
finally getting some recognition.
makes his way over.
It's always the pretty blonde ones.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's fake blonde.
I'm sorry. I've got a type.
Ah, shit.
Uh-oh. I've been called out. Shit. Anyways,
Roasted.
Grease across from you says, I'd like to hope you know who I am,
I've seen you around.
and you already know I already know who you are.
Well, obviously you wouldn't call me over here if you didn't.
Yeah, I also know who you work for.
Ah, shit.
Oh,
Yeah. Red Eye over here gestures to the woman with the Netrunner gear. I did some research for me and found out you worked for one Anika Chowdhury.
I've worked for her a couple of times.
Yeah. Anika's a pretty good friend of mine. I'm not trying to steal her people or nothing, but you, from what it sounds like, happen to operate in my turf. So I definitely want to get some more information about how that gig went down, and also give you an opportunity to make it right. Sound good?
Sure, why
Alright.
not?
I'm not gonna force you or nothing. You don't have to say yes, but it's definitely gonna make your rep here in Haywood be a little bit different than what you might want it to be.
Well, I do enjoy this club. It's one of the better ones, so
You're not wrong. But so how it goes, from what I understand, information I've been able to muster up, you and your friends managed to do some pretty fucking crazy shit to the Night City Stalker. Killed him. Got Militech involved. Bringing him around here. Not too great. But not too uncommon neither. And you also got NCPD finding a little bit about the stalker. Sound about right?
yeah, that sounds about right.
Red Eye kind of chimes in. Night City News 54 also put a story out on him tonight. Caroline Medina, she basically pointed out his connections with Militech, so it's not all bad. You see Grease kind of smile. Alright, well, guess I had that one a bit sideways myself. Not all bad, little lady. So,
A little bit of a give and take.
I got a gig. I was actually about to ask a individual of mine about, have some dialogue regarding. Kind of makes a hand gesture over towards the bar. You see the woman in the red dress kind of get up away from Calvin and start heading over in your direction. Well, Alicia, how's it going? Have a seat next to this lady here. This is Crystal. That right?
Yes.
Perfect. So, Alicia, as I understand it, you're wanting to get some things out of Night City into the Badlands. And why aren't you going to a nomad family? She kind of smiles. Well, we had some interesting interactions with the nomad family not too long ago. A bit compromised. I was hoping for something a little bit more discreet. And I don't really want them out in the Badlands, so to speak. We're actually just moving towards the border, south of here. You don't have to cross it. There'll be a pickup on the border for you. She says that she's talking to you, Crystal. Um, you just have to get out of Northern California, drop it off in Southern California, and they'll do the rest. Um, the main thing is I need someone who can drive a pretty decent sized tractor trailer, 18-wheeler. Is that you?
Yeah, I've driven a couple.
You don't seem to have the gear for it, she says as she kind of gestures towards your neck.
Well, it's been a while, but I could probably find you someone who can, that I trust.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Grease chimes in. She just did a job with one of those Gibsons that you just so spoke about. You see Alicia kind of immediately look over her shoulder back towards Calvin, then look to Grease. Oh, yeah? Interesting. Grease says, yeah, very interesting. Well, and since they've been doing some work on my turf without asking, I figure they owe me a favor, even despite the poor relations that might be present. So, Miss Alicia, you don't worry at all. Send me the details, and I'll get them the shard. Sound good? Alicia says, of course. Once again, a pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Greaves. She says she stands up and heads out. Looks over to Crystal. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Does sound like it. All you have to do is drive a tractor trailer out of Night City, head down to the south border, drop it off, and be done with it.
Sounds easy enough.
I'd suggest bringing an extra car just so you have a return trip. But other than that, sounds like a pretty easy gig. I will tell you this, though, and I'm pretty sure your friend over at the bar would be able to tell you as well. Biotechnica is being watched like crazy by Militech. Not allowed to move too much nowhere. So if you're going to do it, I'd highly suggest you be very careful. I'm going to flip you my deets. And he kind of raises his agent up to yours as you kind of transfer contacts. And he says, and I'll go ahead and send you over the information tomorrow morning. You can accept, you can decline, but I'd say by the end of the month, it being October 20th, by the way, we should probably have some sort of agreement as to how we make nice and even with what's going on here.
Sounds fair enough. We'll make everything squeaky clean.
And I don't mean that to sound like it's a threat. Don't get me wrong. Kind of says as the Asian guy kind of crosses his arms, like when he says that, it seems to be more diffusing him than diffusing your thoughts on it. He says, "I don't mean you no harm. I just like people who operate around me to have a bit of respect for the chain. That's it."
Absolutely understood.
Sounds good. Well, you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, honey. You too.
Grins. You can see the thing that kind of is strange about the whole interaction is the whole time the woman who is in the net runner goggles hasn't taken them off. Like, she's wearing them the whole time, which the netrunner you run with does not wear them all the time. And you don't think you've ever seen or heard of a netrunner doing that. And the goggles she's wearing are like crazy looking compared to the ones you've seen others wearing. So that, it's kind of like she's a weird one to be sure. And he called her Red Eye, is what he called her before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. You head back to the group. If you all kind of party the remainder of the night, I will make sure that all of the details are transferred over to everybody, and everybody has the right connections. I will be also posting before next week Grease's message to you, and yeah, as per his name, he'll get everything nice and lubricated and moving nice and fast. Anyway.
Sounds good.
Drex them sklounced.
That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Thanks for watching if you did, and we'll pick up next week with
Bye.
yeah.